A single phone call shattered Faith Ogle's world. 2 years ago, the Wentworth woman's worst fear became reality. Her husband, a Metro police officer, was gunned down on duty. Constable Errol Ogle was shot in the chest while inside his patrol vehicle, moments after stopping what appeared to be a meat delivery truck driving against traffic. It had been hijacked. Reports suggest 2 suspects pulled him from the car and fled in his police vehicle. The East Coast radio team visited Faith Ogle just weeks before the 2nd anniversary of her husband's passing. We caught up with her to talk about her journey through grief and finding meaning in life after loss. Faith, back in your house again. You've been on this journey from the beginning, from the moment you found out your husband passed away. Can you just take us through that journey from the time you found out leading up to today? How are you?
I have very mixed feelings. I am still in a state of confusion mentally and psychologically. I have been badly affected. I think it was the manner in which the news was broken. So on the 20th of July 2023, I had a lot of people sending me messages asking me how am I, and I'm like, why is everybody asking me how am I? So I still laughed but within me, I just had a feeling that something wasn't right. And at after 8, or could even be before 9, I got a phone call from Cape Town, and I had seen pictures prior to the phone call. I saw pictures on social media of my husband's body laying on the M7, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, it's not registering. And so the phone call that came from Cape Town, my son was screaming on the other end, and he said, "Mommy, Uncle Errol's lying dead on the freeway." I went ballistic. I started screaming. Um, Funny thing was that at that stage, the phone started playing up. I couldn't dial out. My phone has been working all the time. I couldn't dial out. I just couldn't get through to Metro to find out if it was the truth. And so I decided I'm going to drive up the M7. I don't know how I got up the M7, but all I was waiting to see was his body laying on the freeway. I thought, it happened before the Queensborough Malvern turnoff. And when I got to the station, as I got to the bottom of the stairway, my knees and my legs gave in. I dragged myself up the stairs. And so when I got to the duty room, there were 2 people. And I didn't introduce myself. And I said to them, "Tell me it's not true." And they're like, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Ogle's wife." I think at that time I had a bit of a breakdown because I had blanked. They took me into one of the superintendent's offices, and I just started screaming. I said, "You can tell me anybody else, but not him." So no one wanted to tell me. So I started screaming and hitting the table, and I fell over the chair, and I blanked out. I don't know what happened from there, but I do know there were about 20 Metro staff around me, and they were screaming and crying because of my response. So they didn't want me to go to the M7, and I said to them, I needed to see him. There's a few things that I needed to tell him. Please, they need to let me go. Captain Mitchell said, "Faith, you can't come here. I want you just to remember him the way you did." I said, "But I need to speak to him. Tell me if he's alive." They refused to tell me. I got up, I said, "I'm going to drive up the M7. I said to them, all I want to know was his last minutes, his last words. Did he suffer? Did he die instantly? Because he was a protector, and if anything happened to us, he would walk us through.
And tell me, how has your life changed from that moment you found out?
I'm really lost. Um, I can't comprehend things. I've got to repeat myself. Uh, when I ask a question, I forget what I asked. And my 18-year-old said to me, Mom, when are you going to get through this? Being so silly. And, I can't comprehend. It's hard to cope. He did everything for me. In the marriage, I was a lady in my shoes. And so I had to start learning, to start doing things for myself. And it became a very hard process. I couldn't find a center. I couldn't stay in my own home. I had a friend whose house I could be from the morning till 12 in the night. I didn't want to be because of not having him here. At one stage, I thought I was going to die from heartbreak because I've never felt such excruciating pain in my life. It was just so to handle. In that time, I found means and ways of coping. I used to sit on the M7 by myself on the freeway and just cry with the Hans Netman. Turn off. I made that my happy place. Father's Day, Christmas, his birthday, every event you could think of. There was either flowers, there was balloons. I honored him in every way. I found my peace there, and I make it my duty to go and clean up that area. I get hire someone to cut the grass. And I make sure that that place is always tidy, but that is just my way of dealing with it. I don't feel connected to the cemetery that is at. I feel more connected to the M7. So that became my routine every week to go and sit on the M7.
If you could at least see him one more time, what would you like to say to him?
What I would like to say to him, I didn't see this coming. It was not his portion. He was a good man. He didn't deserve to die the way he did. He couldn't harm a soul.
What do you want the community that he served to remember about Errol?
His life alone was a memory. I bump into people all the time. Everybody has um, a memory with him. His life spoke. And I guess, in my case, it's unexplainable because he has touched the lives of many people. And his legacy and his life will always rule, and that's it. He walked his walk. And he made his own story and he's left his own story. And it is one of a victorious person because I believe that he ran his race, he finished his course, and he ended well. He ended well. I mean, the day before she was shot, Metro Police had their first prayer meeting, because I felt that there was a spiritual side that the police also need, because they're out there and they're open to so much, and they had made him chaplain. So he had shared. And I know that he had transitioned because he sat on the chair till about 11 o'clock and he just stayed in that atmosphere. So I believe we have a very spiritual side to us because that's the type of person he was. I believe that he was prepared because he just kept quiet, and all he said to me, Faith, was, what a powerful prayer meeting it was. And he really believed that they would win the fight against crime. He was so sure, you know. Unfortunately, you know, he had to die that way, but he loved what he did. He really loved it.
3 men are standing trial for the murder of Errol Ogle. They face a string of charges, including murder, armed robbery, and hijacking. In court, Faith sits just meters from the accused at every appearance. For her, this painful journey is one she feels she has to take, no matter the toll. The trial has dragged on, but she's holding on for closure. Proceedings have been adjourned to September.
I feel this journey, I have to go through it. It's very long. There's times where I have to pull myself away from the case, not attend, because the information becomes too overwhelming, and it also takes you back to what was his last moments. You know, what was he encountering when he went to them? What was going through his mind before the trigger was pulled? And so, yes, with the case, it is long, it's outdrawn. I think also with regards to that, it's taking longer for me to get my closure, because every time I feel that I've found my center, I've got to go back and I've got to hear the evidence. And I think with accused 1, 2, and 3, they do not feel remorse. However, holding this in thought is that I don't have anything against them. Um, yes, I was upset in the last case, but because of they make mention of, they have family members. It was not here for his daughter's 21st. Someone else had to issue her with the key. Um, and that is painful. Errol has a mother, he has a sister, he has a brother. He has me as a wife, and basically my grandchildren, which he adopted my children. So, it's a ripple effect on society. And look, we don't know which way the case is going. Hopefully, they are going to be sentenced. However, I feel that I choose to forgive them. I have no remorse. And they need to find it within themselves to forgive themselves, because they have not only robbed the community of a good policeman, they've robbed me as of a husband, a father, a son. And what state have they left their own parents in? And also state's resources have been used to defend them as well. So I hope that they would go in and really, be reformed, come back into society and be better people, and not make that mistake. If Errol was around, I promise you, he would have forgiven them.
That is powerful, to forgive.
That's it. He always used to say to me, when people upset me, he would hold me. And I know I did mention this in in our first interview. He would take my hands, he would put it on my chest, and he'd say, "Babe, let it go." He had a way of calming a person, and he would say, "Faith, let it go, give it to God." And I know in my heart of hearts that what he would require of me as a wife was to release and forgive him, because it's going to set me free. Look, it's going to be another long road. However, as long as I can forgive, I can move on. And it's not going to be an easy one, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
And you're going to be okay, Faith.
It's going to be okay. These days I'm not okay, but it's going to be okay. With regards to the person that he was, yes, it's fine to be normal, to want to be loved. It's, God has created us that way. But when you look around and you try and find someone of that caliber, you feel, hey, he's right there, you're going to get old by yourself. your expectations are so high. So, he's left that footprints in our lives that we even know how to conduct ourselves in the home. It's like his voice speaks on. When you think you're doing something wrong, I physically can hear him say, right? Correct your path, find your purpose, find your center, find your place in the kingdom. And that's how he would speak to us. We have that hope that we had a good mentor. He may not be around, but his voice lives on. And we had such an awesome gift in this home. I don't know if people around him didn't appreciate him outside of these four walls, but for us, we really appreciated the lessons in love. He was a very stern person. He didn't need to scream and shout at you. In a soft voice, he'll curl you up so nicely you wouldn't know where to put your face, but in love. So, that's the person he was. That's the person I want to remember. I don't think he'll be happy to know that I've been under nutritionist, homeopaths. I've been ill since he's gone, and I don't think he would want that life for me. But we all have our own coping mechanisms, and this is the way I choose to mourn. And I try to visit places that are close to him. I know after a year, which was after court on the 20th of January, 2025, the last thing I needed to do, I was in an emotional mess. And I said in my mind, I want to go to Chester. And I just want to tell them the impact their work situation had on us. Now, people will not understand it, but it was a closure for me because I felt that they didn't come forward. They didn't say anything to me with regards to whatever, happened around the events of his murder. However, all we could do in court is sit and listen to their story. And you don't see them. And it's like, I feel that they were irresponsible in a sense where they haven't come forward. However, I need to release that. So when I went there, I shouted, I ranted, I raved. But you know what? It was a closed door after that because I had to deal with it. So it's been very hard and it's been very strange ways because even when he passed away, I wanted his clothes. Someone said, Faith, why would you do a stupid thing like that? I wanted to physically see where he was shot. I wanted his boots. I wanted certain things because I couldn't believe it. But all shall be well. Yeah, shall be well. And I didn't think at my age, basically when he died, I was 51. I asked myself this question and I say to God all the time, I didn't know that I'm going to walk this road. At this age, to walk this path by myself. And it's a lonely road. It's sore, but you know what? We've got to stay focused. And for me, I still honor my marriage. I still wear my wedding rings because I do believe that he was a good man. And that's my heartfelt story.
Thank you for sharing with me, Faith. I love it. Thank you. Can I give you a hug? Oh, you did so well. Thanks. 2 years later, the case drags on, and Faith, left without answers, says she cannot move forward until justice is served. She holds onto the memories and the love of a man who was her whole world.
For me, the most important thing is forgiveness. You gotta release, or else you can be so bitter. You don't get it. I tell you, I'm so proud of him. He's gone, but can you be in love with someone that's gone?
Lon Hendricks, East Coast Radio Newswatch.